Привет из Дубая. С вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about volunteering and let's start with the definition.
Volunteering is kind of activity which is used by companies or individuals or society for single items. For example, could be a visit of Pope, or it could be like Olympic Games or some other stuff. In this case, you will ask people, do they want to help guests of city, guests of the country to discover it, to be in safety, to know everyone and to be with helpers. In this case, there are several ways how to do it, but in usual way, you will establish several so-called stab
Headquarters.
headquarters, and you give to people like blazers, t-shirts, instructions, food, and they will stand, they will sit, they will go, they will know how to do, they will navigate guests, they will guard guests, they will translate or do some other stuff. Maybe they will help for disabled people. And why this is so-called volunteering? Because it is not going to be very often. For example, Pope is coming to each country like one time per 20 years. The same with Olympic Games. Maybe it would be just several per your lifetime.
And why volunteering would be considered as a skill?
Before I was working in Germany and Japan, I was thinking that who will go without any payment to be volunteer. But several times in Ukraine, we were conducting so-called Alpha Just Fest in Lviv. This is a city, home city for our main shareholder. And for sure, he liked this city and he was inviting a lot of just musicians from all over the world. And they are very famous and they are very expensive, and too many people were coming to listen to these guys. So we were putting on all crossroads our guys and girls in branding clothes to help guests who maybe do not know city, do not know language, do not know map, and don't know where to go. And in this 2 or 3 days, the Lviv, the city, was like a home for so many people, and everyone was laughing. And it was very hard to organize, but it was lovely to see how people were happy to be there.
Well, I do believe when it comes to volunteering, especially on a bigger scale, like the Jazz Fest that you mentioned, it actually might be something, that people don't really see, but there is a lot of happening at the background, like at the kitchen, so that, tons of thousands of people actually working hard in order to provide the better experience for the one who is visiting. But now, if you look into the components of the volunteering, obviously there is like an organization kind of a thing, and ability to scale and ability to follow the prescriptions, and maybe like some sort of like an empathy element. So what is the, like, if you want to try to map out the world of volunteering, like what kind of pieces it consists of?
Let's start and imagine we will do it. For example, it was several times when I was volunteering. First time it was Bill Clinton coming to Moscow, to Kiev, sorry, and he was even playing on saxophone close to university, state university in Kiev. Second time it was Pope. I don't know his name. I was not volunteering on the streets, but I was collecting guys and I was managing them. Third, it was Чемпионат Европы по футболу, football championship
Football championship.
for Europe. It was almost the same. So first you should collect teams, then you should give them clothes, you should give insurance instructions and so on. You should understand, you should feed them and also organize toilets and so on. Then you will have a lot of guests. You could choose several hotels as a headquarters for different kinds of guests, for example, for different teams or for different musicians and so on. And these hotels would be completely occupied, and also you will have no discount for these hotels. You know why? Because all rooms would be filled up. People wanted to eat all the day, and also they will go into toilet. So you will need extra cleaners, extra cookers, and so on. Then you need to put some people on the street. For example, if it would be rain or sun, you should use umbrella or coats, not just for this volunteering, but also you will give to everyone with badge or with some, I don't know how to say, some stuff, some strips. So you will need blankets, you will need rainbows, coats, even maybe shoes. By the way, you should use for every 1,000 people one car for medical ambulance. You should use for every 5,000 people 3 machines for police. So you will guard this, you will curate, you will clean it all the time.
So it seems like the entire volunteering thing is more like a project where you need to assess all of the risk and actually, like manage a bunch of people or a bunch of unforeseen circumstances that actually may come into the scene. And when it comes to the levels of proficiency, given that of what I learned is actually could be a lot of things, like from something small, like a tiny group, or like a big event, like the Bill Clinton attending the country. So let's look into all of these levels and like see like how we can move from one to another.
First, when you collect your army, you should understand that you couldn't use people who were in jail or who were addicted and so on. Second, you should understand that there would be several rules which are quite unusual. For example, I don't know how to say, please help me. On main streets, it would be this canalization hole would be sealed. То есть будут заварены люки канализационные.
Yes, sealed is a good word.
Yes, sealed. Also, there would be a lot of snipers on the roofs, and there would be a lot of special rules. For example, do not use mirroring. Do not push, I don't know how to say, but sunny rabbits. Is it okay to say солнечные зайчики?
Flashlights.
Flashlights. Do not use flashlights. You could not use a very large camera because you could hide some weapon in it. So it would be a lot of strict rules. The third, you will have several cycles, and the closer to the main guest or guests, it would be more hard to come. So in the heart of this event would be just very trusted people who work, for example, for you like 5 years or more, and everyone would be checked by special service. Then you will have a lot of people who work for you not so long, but you also have a list of it, and everyone is given his blood type, phone number, and also registration, and so on. So you will be like several cycles, and the closer to the main part, the harder to go there, and the smaller group of people. Then you will also use special teams to check rooms, for example, in hotels, because some people will say, I'm not having my team, so please check bugs in the walls, in the bulbs, in phones, and so on. And you also should provide such services. Also, you should use a lot of hidden dark stores. For example, you should use like several tracks with champagne, liqueur, cognac, and some other drinks, because it could be absence in that part of the city because too many guests are coming. Also, you should create so-called VIP lodges.
Lounges.
VIP lounges. In these lounges, you should use cigars. You should use a special kind of girls, models one and horse one.
Well, I do believe it's like a lot of the layers, but we actually can focus on the army of the volunteers who are actually going to help you. So let's say if you want to summon a lot of people, what should be their motivation? What should be their preparation? What kind of behavioral patterns they should follow in order to provide what exactly is required from them?
When I was first time involved in this type of activity, I was thinking the same: how we will summon people to come to us and to be volunteer. And suddenly there is a small article in the internet. I just наткнулся.
Found out.
just find out. And it was a story from one American guy. He was volunteering on a Salt Lake City Olympiad, and he was writing his opinion how to be there. He was writing, I was happy to be part of Olympical traffic, but I couldn't get there. But when I was filling my anketa questionnaire,
Questionary.
I put that I know Albanian language, and not too many people were using this check mark, so I was for sure put in main team. But I do not know that language, but I was hoping that no one will ask this, and I was thinking, yes, maybe it's cool. And when we were trying to summon, a lot of people who were coming because they want to listen music, because they want to make photo. Some people were saying, okay, come on, if you will give me a clothes and you will give me tickets for train, and I will live with several other guys or girls in the room in the hotel, and you will feed us, it's quite enough. Could be like an adventure. I have free time, so I have nothing against it.
And actually, maybe on a different side, I heard that sometimes it's actually good to have such a experience of organizing volunteering. It might be good for your resume, for your career, and maybe like even for your business, because you actually could look into like a different aspects of something that you haven't even thinking about. So, what will be the take here? Like how to find such activities, how to get involved, and how to successfully execute in from whatever role you will be joining.
Yes, you're quite right. If you are working in Europe, if you are working in US or in France, in Germany, in Japan, in England, you will be asked, did you already attended volunteering events and so on? What have you done? And for example, even in my LinkedIn profile, there were no such blog and description of it. But after several meetings with my client, I was forced to do them because на Западе, on West,
On the West,
on the West, a lot of people who think it is good to work in McDonald's or to be a volunteer because you will have a discipline.
so obviously it's something that someone could use this. But when it comes to the future of the volunteering, probably, like it will be changing forms and shapes. On maybe it will be like commercial organizations that would, like run the volunteering, or maybe, like people would be doing a different kind of a stuff, especially everything moves online. So what do you think is the foreseeable future of the volunteering?
I think that every one of us should become a volunteer. For example, you are flying a lot, and I have no doubt that you will help any person in airport or close to the train station. But people who are going not so often abroad or in different cities, they will just pass out and will give no help. So I think that you should understand that if you are in some strange place in unusual city or unknown country, you must understand how to ask someone for help. For example, even when I am visiting Italy, France, Spain, my wife is always have a smile on the face because each time I go to police station and I'm telling them where I'm going to be, and each time it is like непонимание, misunderstanding from their side. But each week I'll come to the same police station and I am saying, yes, okay, I am safe, I have been there, and so on. And several times it was in Paris and it was in Rome when with my help were captured several criminals and fraudsters.
And my last question will be how knowing about volunteering could help to make this world a better place.
Several years ago, it was a time when in Moscow it was conducting like championship, football championship. Yes,
Football
World
Championship.
Championship. Yes, and close to our location, we have with my wife in the middle of the Moscow dentistry. There were a lot of foreign people who were trying to find something to buy, like souvenirs, to eat, to entertain, and we were just sitting on the ступеньки.
Steps.
on the steps and were helping them. And a lot of people were making photos and everyone was so happy. And you have like a celebration in your heart. So everyone is not angry, not ugly, but everyone is going to be part of your cycle, part of your life.
Помогайте друг другу и всегда носите в своем рюкзаке запасной пакет для мусора, чтобы хоть немножечко, но сделать мир чище. А мы рассмотрели навык волонтерства и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!